say allegedly, has done things and allegedly participated in a lot of things that the public would not be happy to know.
He has to take responsibility for what he did as an individual. Sean is the one who pulled that gun out. Sean is the one who shot. So he has to take responsibility for that.
The entertainment world is absolutely reeling from the explosive scandal surrounding Diddy and Jay Z. Everyone from their most devoted fans to their closest allies is questioning just how deep their influence runs and the shocking tactics they've allegedly used to stay on top. But here's what's truly mind-blowing. As their carefully crafted reputations crumble, we're seeing a disturbing pattern emerge of intimidation, manipulation, and behind-the-scenes power plays that feel like they're straight out of a Hollywood thriller. Let's dive into how Diddy, even while locked away in high security, and Jay Z, still walking free, appear to be pulling strings to control the narrative, silence witnesses, and possibly rewrite their own legacies.
Holmes is separated from the general population, right? He's with, or was with, Sam Bankman-Fried at least, and the irony there is that's someone who was granted bail, tried to tamper with witnesses, so the judge revoked his bail. So that just goes to show how these federal judges feel about witness tampering before trial.
Let's start with Diddy, because this is absolutely wild. You'd think being behind bars would limit what he could do, but honey, you'd be wrong. According to these shocking court filings, Diddy's been playing puppet master from his jail cell. Prosecutors are saying he's been in constant contact with people outside, using unauthorized methods to reach potential witnesses and victims. And get this, he's allegedly been using other inmates' phone accounts and clever little tricks like three-way calling to bypass restrictions on who he can contact. But what's even more devious, these calls are supposedly filled with coded language to throw off any authorities who might be listening.
Today, on Monday, Diddy celebrated his 55th birthday, but this year was a lot different. It was no Diddy parties. It was none of that. None of that stuff. Well, happily so, I guess, right now. But anyway, so this is his first birthday behind bars.
Now, what's he supposedly saying during these calls? You won't believe this. Prosecutors claim Diddy's been orchestrating this whole elaborate scheme, instructing family members and associates to dig up dirt on witnesses, intimidate them, and even offering payouts to keep them quiet. They actually found a note in his cell during a routine sweep that allegedly detailed strategies for finding compromising information on people involved in the case. Can you imagine? This man is sitting in detention, yet he's still wielding power like he's running an empire. His use of coded language is absolutely fascinating and slightly terrifying. In one intercepted call, Diddy was heard talking about keeping the worms away from the house and mentioning that he kept a sample just in case. I mean, could he be any more obvious about holding on to incriminating evidence as leverage? And those mysterious references to weathering a storm and needing vitamins to stay strong? It's like something straight out of a spy movie. But here's where it gets even juicier. Diddy's own legal team is absolutely losing it. During a recent bail hearing, his lawyers couldn't hide their frustration because he's making their job impossible. Despite their desperate pleas for him to stay quiet and maintain a low profile, Diddy's gone completely rogue. Can you believe he actually posted a social media video featuring his children? Sure, it looked sweet and innocent, but prosecutors weren't fooled. They called it exactly what it was, a blatant attempt to sway potential jurors and manipulate public opinion.
Well, I'm not surprised by the ruling because, as she cited in her order, there are very serious allegations about the danger that he potentially poses to other witnesses and the public at large. There are allegations that he has, been violent with others. He's also attempted to allegedly intimidate other witnesses and still contact witnesses while incarcerated.
Now, let's talk about these poor witnesses and victims caught in Diddy's web, because this is absolutely chilling. The accusations paint a picture of a man who will stop at nothing to silence anyone who might speak against him. Prosecutors have uncovered numerous instances where witnesses were contacted and pressured. Some were offered money to keep quiet, while others faced terrifying veiled threats. One of the most shocking details: Diddy allegedly instructed his associates to make certain witnesses disappear from the equation altogether. No wonder the court keeps denying his bail requests.
At the courthouse in Lower Manhattan, the judge ordering the prosecution to turn over its findings from a jail cell raid, Diddy's jail cell, just yesterday. What were the contents of those raids?
Well, apparently, According to the defense, they're legal documents. The government saying no, on the contrary, they're just some handwritten notes in a calendar.
But hold on to your seats, because this is where Jay-Z enters the picture. While Diddy's orchestrating his defense from behind bars, Jay-Z's name is being dragged into this legal nightmare, and the accusations are piling up. An anonymous woman has filed a civil lawsuit with some of the most horrific allegations yet, claiming both Jay-Z and Diddy were involved in a shocking incident over 2 decades ago. And although Jay-Z has completely denied everything, his response has only made things worse. When he urged the accuser to file criminal charges instead of a civil suit, critics pounced, accusing him of trying to deflect responsibility and discredit the victim.
This morning, rap mogul Jay-Z is denying allegations he assaulted a 13-year-old girl alongside rapper Sean Diddy Combs. That civil lawsuit filed against Combs in October was amended Sunday to include Jay-Z. The accuser, identified only as Jane Doe, says she was assaulted by both men.
And the timing of all this? Oh my goodness, it's absolutely suspicious. Jay-Z getting added to the lawsuit after months of whispers about his connection to Diddy's legal troubles has everyone talking. Some insiders are suggesting that these two moguls, who we always thought were just friendly rivals, might actually be working together on some kind of mutual defense strategy. Is Jay-Z quietly backing Diddy's efforts to control the narrative, or is he desperately trying to distance himself from this whole mess? Either way, his squeaky clean public image is getting more tarnished by the day.
A blistering statement. Jay-Z accuses Jane Doe's attorney of trying to blackmail him. He said further, quote, "These allegations are so heinous in nature that I implore you to file a criminal complaint, not a civil one. Whomever would commit such a crime against a minor should be locked away. Would you not agree?"
What's absolutely mind-blowing is how these two men, in completely different situations, one behind bars and one walking free, seem to be connected by this shocking thread of using their power to manipulate everyone around them. While Diddy's trying to pull strings from his jail cell, using every trick imaginable, Jay-Z's out here trying to navigate the court of public opinion where literally everyone's watching his every move. But let's talk about the real victims here, because my heart absolutely breaks for them. Can you imagine the sheer courage it takes to stand up against not just one, but two of the most powerful figures in entertainment? Knowing the kind of backlash you'll face, the scrutiny, the pressure, and yet some brave souls are still choosing to speak out. Their determination to see justice done, even with all this alleged intimidation, just shows how strong the human spirit can be.
He, of course, is more than annoyed, would be an understatement.
Yeah.
He has a family and he has a lot to protect, including his brand. But to the extent that he's saying, hey, come after me criminally, that could be likely. Why do I say that? Because in New York, and what's alleged in this complaint is forcible compulsion. What that means in English is that it's saying that he held her down, her.
As this absolutely wild saga keeps unfolding, everyone's wondering, will we finally learn the truth? Or will these two moguls' influence continue to cloud everything? Only time will tell. But one thing's crystal clear. This story is far from over. The world is watching, waiting to see if Diddy and Jay Z can somehow escape the consequences of their alleged actions, or if this is finally the beginning of the end of their reign over the entertainment world.
And of course, the allegation is that Mr. Combs did the same thing. And so if those facts are actually accurate, it would require an investigation by prosecutors. And if true, right, you could pursue it criminally.
But to truly understand how deep this scandal goes, we need to rewind and look at how these two titans built their empires. It's a story of ambition, talent, and that burning hunger for success. Two young men from New York, each desperate to escape their tough beginnings. Diddy, with his larger-than-life personality and brilliant promotional skills, and Jay Z, with that razor-sharp wit and unmatched lyrical talent, seemed destined to revolutionize the music industry. But beneath all that dazzling success, oh darling, there's a shadow that's getting darker with every new revelation about their alleged tactics.
If they did in fact occur, their argument is more than likely going to be that this activity was consensual, that this person was a willing participant, and not only that, but that these individuals assumed the risk of being present at those parties, of engaging and voluntarily engaging in this conduct and being in those spaces, consuming alcohol and things of that nature. So certainly.
Let's take it back to those early days when these powerhouses were just starting to make waves. Diddy, still known as Sean Combs, was turning heads as this incredibly driven intern at Uptown Records. Everyone who worked with him back then tells stories about his absolutely relentless ambition. He wasn't just hungry for success, he was practically starving for it. And when he launched Bad Boy Entertainment in 1993, honey, it was clear he wasn't just playing the game, he was completely rewriting the rulebook. Meanwhile, Jay Z, born Sean Carter, was taking a different path, methodically building his empire. Unlike Diddy's flashy entrance, Jay-Z's rise was more calculated, more strategic. When he dropped Reasonable Doubt in 1996 under his own Rockefeller Records, that wasn't just an album launch, it was the birth of an empire built on both incredible lyrical talent and absolutely ruthless business instincts.
It sounds like there was probably a lot of hidden cameras as well. Is that what is being talked about?
Yes, this was actually in his Atlanta home, at a home he had in Atlanta at one point. And it does seem that the person isn't like looking into the video, so it's, to me, doesn't seem like that person knows they're being videotaped. It doesn't seem like they're active participant in the videotaping.
The real drama started brewing in the late 90s when their paths finally crossed. By then, Diddy had already become this unstoppable force with Bad Boy dominating the charts. Think Notorious B.I.G., Faith Evans, 112. Jay-Z was emerging as this absolute powerhouse, not just in music, but in business too. Their friendship, fueled by mutual respect and understanding of the hustle, seemed perfect on the surface. But darling, in the high-stakes world of entertainment, nothing's ever quite what it seems.
Everybody familiar with the old Houdini? So what Diddy's lawyers are trying to do is pull a Houdini. They're trying to say that the evidence that they have is different. Well, it's not different. The video that the entire world has seen is not going to go away. The fact that he had parties that were freak-offs is not going away. So it's just a question of whether or not Diddy is able to make bond.
Despite all the whispers and rumors, these two maintained this picture-perfect united front, appearing at events together and collaborating on music. But everything changed in 1999 when they both found themselves tangled in legal troubles. Diddy was arrested after that nightclub incident, while Jay-Z faced charges over an altercation with a record executive. And though these incidents weren't connected, they marked this absolutely crucial turning point for both men. Suddenly, their carefully crafted images were hanging by a thread, forcing them to face the harsh reality that their actions had consequences. For Diddy, the fallout was immediate. Even though he was eventually acquitted, the scandal left this permanent stain on his reputation and had everyone questioning the culture of excess that seemed to define Bad Boy. Jay-Z? Well, he somehow managed to slip through relatively unscathed, thanks to his brilliant legal team and his incredible ability to control the narrative. But 1999 served as this massive wake-up call for both men, a stark reminder that the same system that made them stars could just as easily destroy them.
That's it. If it is privilege, of course they won't. But if it really is what the prosecution says, that has nothing to do with the case, or even worse, it's actually evidence of witness tampering, because we all know the attorney-client privilege, there's a crime fraud exception. You can't use your lawyer to perpetuate a future or continuing fraud or crime. So if the documents are what the government says they are, they're going to get them again. And again, it's just going to be a matter of days, because I don't expect.
Both men threw themselves into expanding their empires after that. Diddy launched his Sean John clothing line, while Jay-Z diversified into everything from sports management to streaming services and real estate. They became these incredible symbols of what Black entrepreneurs could achieve in America. But darling, with that kind of power came intense scrutiny, and the rumors about their behind-the-scenes behavior just kept growing.
They probably didn't see these notes, and they never will.
But if you're Diddy, don't you want your notes back?
Yeah.
If you've spent so many hours gathering evidence for your side or strategy or whatever, for me I'd be oh no, please don't destroy, please return.
Jay-Z's very public falling out with Dame Dash became one of hip-hop's most shocking splits. These two were once inseparable, but when Rockefeller crumbled, Dash didn't hold back. He accused Jay-Z of betrayal and pure greed. The whole thing was this messy, public spectacle that had everyone wondering if Jay-Z's ambition had completely destroyed his sense of loyalty.
I'm not surprised with the decision. I'm surprised that Judge Subramanian entertained it. He held a 2-hour hearing, which we were covering live, and he issued a 5-page written order. Most other judges, including the 2 previous judges, to consider this issue, summarily denied the bail motion. I think a lot of it stems from Judge Subramanian being a newer judge, this is a Biden appointee. He has a civil background.
And these explosive accusations have completely exposed the complicated dynamic between these two. While they've always presented themselves as equals, insiders are spilling tea about what's really going on. Some say Diddy has secretly resented Jay Z for years, absolutely envious of his ability to stay above the drama while Diddy's own reputation kept getting dragged through the mud. Others are convinced that Jay Z has been strategically distancing himself from Diddy lately, terrified of getting caught up in his former friend's increasingly scandalous situation.
I agree, and the risk of flight was always going to be a tough argument for the government because obviously Combs voluntarily came to New York. He surrendered his passports through his lawyer. He could have fled after the March raids of his Miami and Los Angeles homes, but he didn't. He has access to 2 private jets. I think it was a tougher argument. I know the government made the argument, but clearly the best argument was the dangerousness and the witness tampering. They had much more evidence.
There's no denying the absolutely massive impact Diddy and Jay Z have had on the music industry. Their rise to the top is this incredible testament to their talent and ambition. But oh my goodness, it's also this chilling, cautionary tale about what people will do to maintain their power. As more allegations keep surfacing, everyone's wondering how much of their success came from genuine talent and hard work, and how much was built on manipulation and exploitation. The story of Diddy and Jay Z isn't just about fame and fortune anymore. It's about power, control, and the absolutely shocking dark side of the music industry. While their die-hard fans might still celebrate their achievements, more and more voices are speaking out against them, proving that even the most untouchable figures can finally be held accountable. The big question on everyone's mind is, how will they survive this storm? Will they somehow manage to emerge unscathed? Or is this finally the moment that destroys everything they've built? The world is watching, and darling, one thing's for certain. This absolutely explosive story is far from over. So what do you think? Are Diddy and Jay Z truly untouchable? Or are we watching the beginning of their downfall? How far will they go to keep their power and influence? Leave your thoughts in the comments below, and let's keep this conversation going. Until next time, stay tuned for more celebrity gossip and insider details. Goodbye for now. Goodbye for now.